This week we're reflecting on a really interesting, kind of short, but an interesting story about two sisters, Martha and Mary. It is a very short story. It's 101 words, okay? And also 71 of those words are single syllables. So it's a very, on the surface, simple story. And it creates a really vivid scene. It paints kind of a scene of two pretty different, two very opposing characters. We have the characters of Martha and Mary. Now, Martha and Mary are kind of types of people. They're generalizations. So let's take a look at this. You know, Martha is this very busy person. You get the feeling that she's shopping and cooking and cleaning and vacuuming and dusting. She's running around and she's multitasking. Now, the feel is that she's more than just a little busy. It's like the feel of this story is that what she's doing is excessive. And you get the feeling like she's agitated and she's tense and she's stressed out. Then on the other hand, you have her sister Mary. And Mary doesn't seem to be that way at all. Now let's be careful. Mary's not lazy or irresponsible. That would ruin the story, and that's not what Jesus wants us to feel in the story. No, Mary is the person who knows when enough is enough. And she knows when to put the busyness of life aside. She knows when to shift gears, to slow down, and to be still. And Jesus says that Mary has made the better choice in the story. Now, our story of Martha and Mary has lots of different interpretations. Sometimes people say that Martha represents the Jewish Christian who's running around trying to fulfill all the obligations of the law. And Mary represents the Gentile Christian who is just overwhelmed by God's generosity to the Gentiles in the faith that they have in Jesus. You know, it could reflect something about Luke's teaching about the role of women in the church. But usually it's safe to say that Martha and Mary represent two aspects of the Christian life. Mary represents contemplative life and the importance of prayer. And Martha represents the active life and the importance of good works. So, if I had to summarize the gospel, it would be this. Good works and prayer are both important. But in today's reading, Jesus stresses the importance of prayer. Good works and prayer are both important, but in today's reading, Jesus stresses the importance of prayer. You know, I think there's a pretty safe and a pretty basic teaching that we can take from our gospel this week. Part of it has to say what we're called to say no to, and then the gospel also challenges us to say yes to certain things. So the gospel teaches us or encourages us or challenges us to say no to the temptation to be frantic in life. But it also encourages us to say yes to the inspiration to be still and to pray. So this week I'm asking all of us to do this. Resist the temptation to allow the busyness of life to overwhelm us and pay more attention to our spiritual life. So let's take a look a little bit more at that. Let's resist the temptation to allow the busyness of life to just overwhelm us. Now we know that we're all busy, and being busy usually is normal and healthy, and we presume that Jesus himself was very busy. But that's not what we're talking about. We need to resist the temptation to be agitated and to panic and to stress out constantly. And I think it's important to catch ourselves when that's happening, and then we need to reprioritize our lives. But we're also called to pay more attention to our spiritual life this week as well. We need to attend to the life of the Spirit of God within us. And we need to be more attuned to the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, that we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is active and alive within all of us. So we're called to pay more attention to the interior life. Now, I'm going to encourage all of us to do that in whatever way that helps you. Like Mary, we all need to sit at the feet of Jesus, to listen to him, and to be still. We need to be in the presence of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So for some people, that might be by reading the Bible or by journaling. Other people like to practice meditative prayer or contemplative prayer or listen to Christian music. But however you feel that you can respond to the Spirit this week in your life, lean into that prompting, and then we'll be following the instruction that Jesus gives us to pay attention to our spiritual life.